How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ben Burnside Show, coming at you from Fresno. I just wanted to give my thoughts on what happened this evening, the news that broke about Donald Trump's Twitter account being banned permanently by the folks at Twitter, and what my overall thoughts on it are. I learned about it around 6 p.m. and I've been on, unfortunately, I feel like I wasted my time a lot on Facebook and stuff like that, and I really need to follow my New Year's resolution of trying to get off of social media. Just like I know that I feel like I'm doing something important by putting up these posts and giving my actual opinion and trying to actually start discourse and not arguments on Facebook. But the fact is, number one, it's not, that doing that is not a thing that does not fulfill any of the current listed goals that I have in my life right now. So it's just really a waste of time in that regard. And number two, it's stressful, and it gives me, I'm sorry, I'm eating something, but gives me like a negative vibe in my head about, throughout the day. In a daily capacity, I always am like worried, and it's worried about the biggest thing in the world with politics. And, I'm always like, I'm not on edge. Like, I feel like I'm retaining my, sanity, and I feel like I'm in the moment when I'm talking to people, but man, I'm always freaking out in my head about politics, or like saying, oh my God, there's a big problem in politics. There's a big problem in politics, big problem in politics, all the time lately in terms of my daily activity. And man, it needs to stop. Like I'm kind of, it's fatiguing in a way. I'm not going to lie. Now, granted, I'm not going to have that stop me. I'm not going to have that reasoning stop me just because I'm inhibited of doing it in a way, in a mental way, to where I kind of don't feel like putting myself out there all the time. Like, I don't like doing it. Part of me doesn't like doing it. I'd rather just sit back and just sit back like everyone else, and just be a normal person and not comment on it. But I'm compelled to talk about it. And I'm also, I don't feel like doing it all the time. That's what I'm trying to say. But I feel like I need to, because I'm compelled to, because it's something that I need to talk about, especially when nobody is talking about it. Something needs to be said, and something in a polite, civil discourse kind of manner needs to be said. And look, man, I'm just tired of it. But I think I'm going to stop because of the first reason I said, and it's just not one of my main goals in life. Of something I'm trying to achieve in my life right now is to talk about politics all the time. So I'm going to step away from politics and social media, for that matter, for a while. But when I'm not focused on my goals, or when I'm trying to listen to something involving my goal, while doing my goals, throughout the day, I'm hoping to put some headphones in and listen to the news at least a little bit throughout the day. But I really need to backtrack on that quite a bit. And I think the big things to do on that is to stop Facebook and Twitter in my daily life. It just doesn't feel healthy. It just doesn't feel healthy. But back to my overall point in all this with Donald Trump. And look, my knee-jerk reaction to all this, especially when hearing a video about this from thehill.com, their YouTube channel, and their talk show, which is called Rising. I think it's the best talk show in politics by far, so go check it out. What they said on there was that these, in news of yesterday, where Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey from Twitter when they banned Donald Trump temporarily from Facebook and Twitter, given what happened 2 days ago. Um, you know, I understood that. I understood I understood that, but as the people from the Hill Talk Show said, it gives people like Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey way too much damn power way too much power in the world of communication and discourse. And like I said in politics, communication is number one, which kind of makes them, in a way, gods in society. And I don't want anybody to be a god. That's too much power. Too much power, bro. So I'd rather have them not do what at least Jack Dorsey did tonight. But I was willing for a suspension of the account until the peaceful protests, because I didn't want to encourage violence by Donald Trump, spewing crap for the next 12 days. At least go through the peaceful transition. But I feel like they might have taken it a step too far tonight when Jack Dorsey, at least, not Mark Zuckerberg yet, but definitely Jack Dorsey, he and the rest of the heads of Twitter permanently banned Donald Trump from his Twitter account. And so Donald Trump is banned from Twitter. And it's an ultimate form of canceling from the most powerful man in the world, a guy who still holds the nuclear codes. And I just don't think that's good. Jack Dorsey has expressed too much power tonight. He just simply expressed too much power. And I don't like that. And he's not an elected official. He is not an elected official. And, one thing I can say about Donald Trump is that at least he talks. I feel like Jack Dorsey, he kind of stays in the background of his opinions on things and stuff. No, he should always be at the forefront talking. That's the vibe I get from Jack Dorsey, but that, I haven't really, admittingly, I haven't really observed him that much. I don't know, I just think, at first my knee-jerk reaction was Donald Trump should not be banned from Twitter. Period, end of story. He's too powerful of a man, and he has too many followers to where they could get mad if they feel that their ultimate leader, is being ostracized and discluded from public conversation. I feel like that contributed to what happened 2 days ago at the Capitol Hill building. But I discoursed about it with a couple people on Facebook who made some really, really good points. And I also heard other people's different opinions about it on Twitter, particularly from a man named Luke Thomas, who is a journalist for MMA sports, but he's a former Marine. He is a very, very researched person in terms of government and just policy and stuff. And he does his homework as a journalist, as an avid reader and stuff. And he made the point of this. Sure, we could express concerns of cancellation. And by the way, I'm expressing extra concerns on top of the Trump cancellation because Parlor got canceled from, I believe, Google and I believe Apple at this point. But they just might be canceled from Apple right now. But anyway, Luke Thomas said there is understandable concern about Donald Trump being canceled from Twitter, social media. But you have to reciprocate that with concern of Donald Trump being on Twitter, the most powerful man being on Twitter, and lying and lying and lying and lying and lying and spewing violence, encouragement of violence back in June with the George Floyd stuff, and lying and lying and lying about the election results for months and fabricating a story that he was robbed of the election, and you can't have Donald Trump just get away from talking like that, especially since he is the president of the United States. So I have these two super big conflicting ideologies about Donald Trump being blocked from Twitter. I have one that supports it, that grows to support the idea of him being blocked, but I have one also pretty big thing that has to deal with my concern of him being blocked and setting the precedent of how powerful these social media leaders can be, who are not elected officials. I can't ignore both of them. I can't, in my head, right, at least right now, I can't separate myself away from these two ideologies. They can't be ignored. I think, you know, in anger management, you are taught to. I've learned that you're taught to learn about compromise. Compromise in an argument. Compromise between differences. And also, I learned this from activists as well, who specialize in being in arguments. In particular, the activist known as Daryl Davis. If you don't know him, go ahead and check him out. He's a more than remarkable man. But I've learned from those two sources that you have to learn about compromise. I feel like the truth in this has to somewhere be in the middle. And my thought on this is that I came up with a solution from all the things all the disagreements I heard from my friends at Facebook, Luke Thomas from Twitter, these two ideologies. I came up with a reasoning that there has to be a compromise in that Donald Trump probably should be banned from Twitter. Probably should be banned for all the things he did, all the things he's done and said, and all the lies and the encouragement of violence he did. He needs to be banned, but at the same time, in payment of that, we need to really focus on breaking apart these social media companies a little bit, and and not solidifying them, but like breaking down the powers a little bit to where these social media leaders are not so fucking powerful. They are too powerful. In a snap of a finger, they change the landscape of communication amongst people by telling the most powerful man on earth to get off and stop talking. That's a big deal. Communication is number one. And I think that, yes, Donald Trump has made enough offenses to where he can be asked to leave on Twitter. I totally 100% agree with that idea. But I also, at the same time, I strongly request to the same degree that social media companies of Facebook and especially tonight Twitter, they need to be broken. Their power needs to be divided a little bit more. They need to be broken down a little bit. And not just those two, but also Google, who played action tonight, Apple, all these giant Silicon Valley tech companies, they need to be losing in court from the United States government to break down their companies more so they aren't so powerful. There needs to be, I don't know how this works, the breaking down of companies, but maybe there needs to be other social media companies that come to the rise, a few more, to where these few companies lose power and divide it amongst these new companies. And therefore Donald Trump can go to a separate thing, like a Parlor. Parlor would work. I don't know. That's what one of the people on my Facebook said. You can go to Parlor. He can go to Parlor or something. And look, the president can talk somewhere else. You can't have the president not talk. He's gonna go somewhere else. He's too, there's other forms of communicating other than Facebook or Twitter, or I guess tonight just other than Twitter because only Twitter banned him. Facebook has only suspended him so far. But you know, my point is, please divide these social media companies because it's clear that they are too powerful. They are too powerful and they need to be divided. But at the same time, this is what Donald Trump gets. This is what Donald Trump gets for being an asshole and lying all the time from baseless, unproven claims in court that he won the election. You did not win the election. And you should be canceled for having these supporters believe this idea that you won the election because you did not. You were disproven in court of this idea 60 times. Someone in the security for elections, they said this was the safest election in American history. What more do you need? I don't know. I'm glad he's gone from Twitter. He should be gone. He should be punished in a way from what happened this week at Capitol Hill. He should seriously be punished. This is a great way of punishing him. I think a really good way, a good start. And by the way, once he's done with president, he should worry about other legal matters in his life and from his presidency. So it's not over for him yet. But at the same time, please knock these social media leaders down a number of notches because they are far too powerful than anybody else in the world. And it needs to be stopped. We can't just not talk about this anymore. Okay? So please, knock these people down. Alrighty, that's pretty much my whole thought about this so far. It's a developing story, so I'll come back on this channel and see if anything else came on, but that's my thought. I like how I made a compromise with both of my conflicting ideologies in all this, because that's what makes solutions, I believe. Sometimes, I'm not saying that sometimes other sides are wrong and you should disagree with another side completely, but in this case, I don't think this was the case here. I think this is not a black or a white situation to solve. This is a complex situation, and it's new territory for our society, and and I don't think it's an easy solution to solve. I think what I gave is a pretty basic solution of how to solve this. Maybe too basic, far too basic probably. But I think it's a good start. And if anybody has any disagreements, feel free to comment. Alrighty, guys, comment on what you think about this. What do you think about this news? Please let me know. I'd love to have some civil discourse with you. And let me know down in the comment section below. And let me know your thoughts. Also, go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can hear a bunch of other discussions such as these, as well as discussions about sports, discussions about video games, discussions about whatever the heck I want to talk about. And also reaction videos of different trailers. Those are a lot of fun. So go ahead and check that out on my YouTube channel when you got the chance. Alrighty, guys. Most importantly, stay well, stay safe, and have a great 2021. And enjoy your first weekend of 2021. That's NFL playoffs. Let's do this thing. So enjoy your weekend, whatever you do. Alrighty, guys. Catch you on the burn side. Peace.